Hello guys, it's me again. Take that screw out. If you haven't subscribed on this channel, please consider subscribing. That would help a lot on this channel. And click the thumbs up icon and notification bell. So if there's a new video coming out, you'll be the first one to be notified. Check the description down below for the equipment and tools I use in this video, which is available to purchase in Amazon.com United States and Amazon.co.uk in United Kingdom. In this video, it shows you step by step on how to repaste, how to change the thermal pads and the thickness of the thermal pads, and how to replace and clean the cooling fans if just in case if you need to repair it. Let's begin the tutorial. Okay, the first option, if you want to remove the fan or clean the fan, all you're going to unscrew is 9 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, by the way, before we start, the screwdriver that I'm using is the electric screwdriver. It's called the wow stick, and the bits that I'm going to use is the Phillips screw PH1. I'm also using this one, which is equivalent, is a Phillips screw equivalent to PH1 as well. So let's begin. By the way, it's just a reminder, if you're working on the graphics card, make sure you have to put this cover for the PCI Express connector, because this is a very delicate area here. Don't mix the screw, because this 5 screw here on the side are smaller one, and this 4 screw here at the back plate are longer one. Okay, so slowly lift up the front plastic shroud. This light here is the one who light up the logo here. So you can just slide it out. And then to remove the fan, each fan has 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is the part number of the fan. The one on the right, and this is the one on the left. I believe this is identical. And the second option, if you just want to remove the backplate, what you're going to unscrew is just 5 screws. This is only for the backplate, removing the backplate. So 5 screws here on the PCB. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 here is a bit tricky. Yeah, here you can see it from here. 5, and that is only for the backplate. And then the third option, if you want to change the thermal pads or repaste, is only 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on this video, I will not gonna remove the backplate. It's not necessary to remove the backplate. There's no thermal pads underneath the backplate anyway. So for the thermal pads replacing and the repaste, just 4 screws. I will just show you how to remove the backplate so that you could see underneath the backplates what it look like. So 5 screws to remove the backplate. Okay, turn it over and remove the backplate. So the backplate is a metal, but nothing special. There's no thermal pads underneath. And then, yeah, you can detach the PCB from the heatsink. There you go. And then there's the connector of the fan, 4-pin connector for the fan and for the lights for the LED. So on this video I will not gonna remove the connector because this card is just few months old, it's still new, but it seems like the thermal pads needs replacing. So that's what I'm going to do. So for the thickness of the thermal pads, the thermal pads is quite thin. So the thickness of the thermal pads, this one here, 1, 2, 3, and this 2 small bit here are the same, have the same thickness, and that one, this is about, it's quite very thin. This is 0.75, less than 1 millimeter, so 0.75 millimeter. So 0.75 is this area here. This is for the VRAM, and this is a small chip here. So 0.75, but this one here, this long one here, is different thickness. This is quite a bit thicker. So this one is, so this one here, the long one is 1 millimeter. So 0.75 and 1 millimeter. If you can see residue on the VRAM, just scrape it with using this kind of, it's like a scraper, a plastic scraper. Don't use a metal, use a plastic. And then to blow the dust in the heatsink and in the PCB, I normally use a air blower called X-Power 500 watt X-Power air blower. It's really powerful one. So if your heatsink is filthy, it's a lot of dust sticking in the middle of the heatsink and the fins, you need to use that tool, and also a brush. But this time I'm just using the brush because this graphics card is not that dirty. When you notice your graphics card heatsink fins started to have a corrosion like this one, this is not bad. This is just a small corrosion. What you're going to do is to use like a metal wire brush, but don't use the thick and hard one. This is a special one. This is like it's a bit soft, still a metal, but it's a soft one. So use that one to scrape off all the corrosion on the fence. Just rub it gently, because that corrosion, it will affect the cooling, the airflow. So you have to remove that one if possible. So you just do like this. The wire brush, put it in the fence. Yeah, dip it in the fin, and then just rub it back and forth. So like this, just slow. And you could see the corrosion, the white bit is started to come off. So about this brush, I will put in the description down below if you want to purchase it on Amazon. Then after you brush it with a paintbrush, you have to clean the heatsink with 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. Please don't use 70% alcohol. 99.9% is more safer to use, especially for the electronic in the circuit board, because it will dissipate and dries up very quickly. So you're safe to go. And then after, to clean the fan, after I brush it with a paintbrush, I'll use an alcohol to rub it, especially the underneath side of the fan. Rub it with the microfiber cloth, because this dust here, it will stick. It cannot be removed just by the brush alone. So it needs to be rubbed one by one. See, this is the dust that I removed from the fan. Filthy. Okay, it's a big difference. So I'm gonna rub the chips, the VRAM and the GPU chip with the alcohol. So make sure it has a good contact when I put in the thermal pads and thermal paste. Okay, it's time to put it back together. The first one that I'm going to screw it in is the two fan. When you screwed in back the fan, make sure this screw hole here will sit properly. So don't forget, when you screw in, especially with the plastic, just snug fit, don't over tighten it, otherwise the plastic would break. So test the rotation of the fan. Looks good. So next is to put it back the back plate and attach to the PCB. Screw it in with a 5 screw. Okay, the thermal pads that I'm going to use is an RTX thermal pads, but I normally use a different brand of thermal pads. Sometimes I use this one, the Toaster's thermal pads. This is also good, and this one is quite cheaper, it's also good. Is the Season thermal pads. So the thermal paste I'm going to use is the RTX MX4, but I have a good recommendation if you can afford the Noctua NTH2 or the SYY thermal paste. Is really good. So for this video I'm just using this one. This is also very good. I've tested this one for a long time. So when screwing in the GPU chip, you have to carefully screw it in and in cross-crease pattern. Here, 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 and here. So you have to do it gradually. And then lastly, put it back the front shroud. So this is the light that goes here. So put it back the front shroud. Okay, screw it in first, the longer screw. Then the 5 short screw on the side. Okay, that's the end of the tutorial. If you find this video helpful, please like and consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.